This is Dr. Wysong. This series of videos on the big questions of life will show where each one of us is led if we dare to leave behind preconceived ideas and see where reason and evidence lead. The source of goodness. It's human to seek to be good. The struggle between right and wrong, good and bad, underlies and pervades every religious, political, legal, and social institution, and has from time immemorial. Equity, justice, propriety, social graces, respect, honesty, and so on weigh on each of us personally each and every day. Although thought to be the source of good, religions conflate ritual with goodness. Thousands of years of cathedrals, temples, churches, mosques, pyramids, inquisitions, mummification, animal sacrifices, self-mutilation, witch trials, holy book reading, wall wailing, breast beating, flagellation, jihads, fatwas, idolatry, sacrifices, converting savages, witch trials, celibacy, polygamy, circumcision, infibulation, not sparing the rod, stonings, suttees, ecumenism, parochial schools, catechumens, beheadings, conquistadors, pilgrimages, holy books in motel room drawers, drawing and quartering, eye and tongue removals, forbidden foods, special clothing, tithing, speaking in tongues, poison drinking, dancing with snakes, indulgences, evangelizing, chants, excommunications, hymn singing, hermeneutics, which means deciphering holy books written in arcane languages, eschatology, which means attempting to figure out from holy books when the world will end, missions, confessions, wafer eating, wine drinking, prayer in the right direction, penance, and heretic burning have not brought us closer to truth, made us better people, nor improved our lot. These things keep people occupied and complacent with busy, not ethical work. The unsavory history of religion led America's founders to write a constitution that separated church and state. It does not even once cite or refer to any holy book. Moreover, the very first thing mentioned in the Bill of Rights is, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. People were fleeing to the New World in search of both freedom of religion and freedom from it. Most founding fathers understood this and created a secular, meaning non-religious, not godless, nation based upon freedom and the inherent God-given morality within each individual. Religion, ostensibly speaking for a God, can supplant normal human ethical sensibilities. War and inhumanity justified by various religions occur constantly and worldwide. Consider the current war on infidels by Islamists. For the month of September 2016, there were 201 attacks, 1,167 killed, 1,428 injured, 26 suicide blasts, and all of these occurred in 33 different countries. You can refer to the various charts and other statistics noted in the written version of this that follows the audio recording. Other religions, other than the Islamists, as indicated in the previous part, condemn these horrors. But the underlying cause is largely ignored, and because Islamists are simply acting on belief and faith in a holy book. If today's Jews and Christians followed their own holy books, as they have in the past and are commanded to by the books, they would be engaged in similar horrors. Although scriptures can also be found that advocate the opposite, pacifism. True, many now put a liberal patina on holy books, but literate people without coaches read scriptural urgings that clearly encourage the killing of unbelievers and those who commit the sin of reason. Religious atrocities are held in check today because the secular state has stepped in to forbid it. Where religion can dictate its own terms, fuse eschatology with the state, and make demands people cannot refuse, heads getting lopped off, and religious war and torture of heretics are still a part of life. Even in modern societies, religions bless troops and condemn those being blessed on the other side. Certainly nations that do not benefit from such helpful guidance could fare at least as well. It is a sad fact of history that the words that divide people and then unite them in butchering one another are often traceable to the religious institutions and holy books humans create. Although it's true that religions can do good works, this does not deny the damage they can also do. For example, even in Islamic states that promote terrorism and brutal punishments for disobedience, social services and charitable giving rivals that of any other religion or nation. The same is true for Christianity and Judaism, even before they were tamed by the secular state. Obviously, religions and holy books that justify both atrocity and benevolence provide no clear ethical guidance that should supersede one's own conscience, nor are they reflective of the pure, unequivocal justice of the Creator. Nevertheless, nobody likes uncertainty. Thus, there is a natural inclination to systematize and formalize morality. People want clear and easy right and wrong, black and white. We don't want to have to think and probe our consciences. Somebody just tell me what to do so I can check off my moral chores, avoid God's ire, and get on with my life. Religions come to the rescue by providing grocery lists of do's and don'ts to check off each day. But does it fit any semblance of rationality that guidance from the Creator of the universe as to right and wrong should come from stories about an angel Gabriel reciting text to the illiterate Muhammad in a cave in 610 CE, or Joseph Smith burying his face in a white top hat in the 1800s to read God's Mormon messages from a seer stone, or Moses climbing a cloud-covered mountain and remaining there for 40 days to obtain the 10 Commandments written on stone by the finger of God? Such untenable stories, though, certainly empower list givers and enforcers and create huge worldwide institutions with immense power over people's minds. Believers can then employ the Nuremberg defense, regardless of the damage done by them following the rules of others. In other words, I was only following orders. We're left with a choice. We can follow the rules of others or follow our own conscience. Since religions, all of them, are a human creation, clearly, reaching within to our own reason and conscience is the only oracle given to us by heaven. That means that any person on earth, regardless of circumstance, has equal access. Justice demands that it be no other way. Since good people can be found in any primitive, modern, religious, or secular setting, then human goodness must come from within. Decency is not derived from religion, it precedes it. An ethically sensitive conscience is as much a part of the human creation as arms and legs. Religions and their created holy books attempt to deny this fact to believers. For example, note how the religious leaders writing the Bible from the get-go attempt to deny humans free choice and conscience. Eve's so-called original sin was to eat an apple from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That's in Genesis 2:17. To know good and evil is to exercise one's own conscience. This was painted by the Bible writers as so egregiously criminal that all humans, billions and billions of us, supposedly inherited as an original sin and the cause of all death. This passage, mysterious to anyone thinking the Creator wrote it, becomes crystal clear when the true authors are recognized, namely human religious leaders. These leaders didn't want people deciding for themselves. Their goal was power and control, meaning they alone, not the people, were to have the knowledge of good and evil. Proof that's the case are all the subsequent rules and regulations, clearly man-made, they laid out in the book. Actually, the ultimate sin is to not eat the apple, meaning to follow other humans and their man-made religions based on their knowledge of good and evil, rather than one's own Creator-given conscience. No one needs to tell us not to steal, lie, or harm others, but rather to be truthful, just, and compassionate. We're created with an inherent ethical braking mechanism and the free will to engage it or not. That's why, when pressed, no religionist can identify any ethical principle that a person can't come up with on their own. When people come to believe that following the rules of others constitutes their duty to ethics, they abandon the best moral governor of all, conscience. Ethics is a duty nobody should delegate to an expert. It demands personal choice, not obedience to a command from another human. We must freely author our own actions. The difficulty in following conscience is because of biological desires, laziness, and free will, not an inherent evil or a devil. Decisions have to be made in life, and it's easy to cave to convenience, ease, ego, and selfish interests. Yes, we all struggle with nasty thoughts and imperfect actions, but we almost always know intuitively how we should behave. If we don't know and act improperly, consequences always follow, and we make better choices next time. Such experience is the best teacher of all, and earth life gives us plenty of that. Up to a certain age, children have little empathy or ethic. They simply follow the commands of elders for fear of punishment. Adulthood brings with it free choice and an active conscience. However, unlike a hairy chest or breasts that come automatically with maturity, activating free choice and conscience is a choice. We can remain like children and look to other humans and institutions, surrogate moms and dads, for the rules to live by, or we can listen to the voice of conscience. In other words, eat the apple implanted by the Creator. We've also been given reason and logic. Engaging those truth-deciphering skills is as much a matter of ethics as not lying, stealing, or harming others. Without truth, we live in a lie and contribute to a false world that ultimately brings harm. Unfortunately, conscience is farmed out to religions that proclaim they are all our purpose and will take care of all of our ethical dilemmas and provide an easy recipe for salvation. People are led to think all is well if they do as they're told, instead of figuring things out for themselves. We may be diamonds in the rough and struggle with making goodness manifest, but it's always there, urging if we will only listen to the voice within. Being attentive to that voice and doing our best to be good people will certainly help make a better world. It will also create a nice legacy for us, but is what we leave behind upon death all that's in store for us individually? Let's see where reason and evidence lead as we pursue the final big question of where we are going.
Thank you for listening. Keep in mind that solving the big questions requires foundations upon which truthful answers can be built. So please work through the series sequentially. This information has taken decades of research, thought, and writing. Aside from the peace of mind the solutions have brought me, the only reward I seek is hearing that it's helped you. Feel free to contact me with any comments or questions at asifThinkingMatters.com.